Hi, this is Raj, your host, Unleashing Talent. Welcome back again. And today we are going to talk about strength based leadership. I hope today's discussion would help you change a little bit of your perspective about what a strength based approach is. Let me throw a question for you before we get on to the discussion. This is going to be roughly 20 minutes of time. So if you are exercising or if you're walking down and maybe you're driving down your home, just um, listen to it and take whatever you want and just ignore whatever you don't like about it. Now, let me ask you a question. What is one area that you would like to focus developing for yourself? Think about it. Think about the area that you really would like to develop. You thought about it? I'm sure you would like to focus mostly area that you feel is the weakest area that might be the hindrance for you yourself for your career growth. Here I'm trying to tell you that can you focus on the key strength that you have and the key strength that your team members have and the key strength and the core strengths of your organization. So you have two choices. Either you focus on the strength or you focus on the weaknesses. Now, if you focus on the strength, your entire perspective will be different. Your thinking will be different. Your actions will be different. Your alignment will be different. It will change your leadership style. We are talking about the strength-based leadership and how it can help you unleash talent for optimal performance. We have to understand that this strength-based leadership is an approach to leading others that, kind of builds on what is strong rather than what is wrong in people. And it actually enables you as leaders to bring out the best in yourselves and in your people by igniting the core character strengths of the individuals. Now, the strength based approach, if you look at it, as I say, is a kind of growth mindset. When you look at this strength, you see it from the growth perspective. Let me give you a very small example. You have a child back home, and I have often come across people talking about what child is not good at rather than what the child is good at. So you constantly give message to the child what the child is not able to do, what the child is not able to accomplish, what the child is not good at. So how many times you give negative expression, then how many times you give positive emotions? I hope you understand. In one of the podcasts, we would probably talk more about it. So a strength-based approach is an approach where people view situations and look for opportunities, right? And complement and support with their existing strengths and capabilities. Instead of focusing and staying with the problem and the concern. So it is a paradigm shift. I guess you would understand the value of focusing on the strength. We focus on the weakness, and sometimes we remain deprived of what we are capable of. Look at the concept of unleashing talent and potential for optimal performance. The talent and potential are in the core of your strength, and you have to unleash that. The strength-based approach is progressive. It is about growth mindset. It opens you. It gives you a purpose. It is high and reaching. It is fulfilling. It is meaningful. It gives you the passion. It gives you the vision. It gives you the dream, and it keeps you always on the top of yourself. You never feel tired or fatigued because you know you're working on this strength. I'm sure if I ask you a question here to recall a situation where you were at your best, you were at your best because you loved doing that. Now look at the other side of this story where you are in regression. If you are on the deficit side of the approach, just opposite to the strength based, right, you will be in the fixed mindset, and you will create limitations for yourselves. You might have setbacks, and it might result into stress, feeling of low esteem, less engaged, or lower energy, low self-esteem, and you might have difficulties in accomplishing goal, lack of motivation, and lack of career growth, and so on and so forth. A lot of things that might happen. I'm sure by now you understand and realize your role as a leader. If you want to unleash talent for yourself and unlock your potential, and if you want to do the same thing for your team, for your organization, you have to lead in context. And the context is the belief that people have the talent and the potential, and you focus on the strengths. I mean, you get the best out of yourself, you get the best out of your team, you get the best out of the organization, and you get the best out of wherever you are. You can even imagine a nation focusing on its core strengths and designing and developing nation policies around its core strengths. Those nations will go really very, very, very far. Let's come back. Your circle of influence should know you for your strengths. What do people know you for? They know you for, all right, if I reach that individual, he can give me A, B, C, D. So you actually build credibility. You specialize in a particular field, and people gradually over the period of time know you for who you are. They know you for your strength, and you build credibility. You become an authority in that field. People get influenced by you, right? And this is one of the principles in Robert Cialdini's book also on influence. People get influenced when people get influenced when they look at you as an expert. You cannot inspire people if you focus on their weakness. You can never inspire people. It is only the strength that you can ignite. And if you focus on the strength, you can really bring out the best in the people. Negativity, remember, is by design dominant in our character. So when you come across an individual, or even for that matter yourself, you first look at the negative side of it in terms of what you cannot do. And when you start thinking of focusing on the strength and what is right and what can be done, then the perspective changes. And then that fills you in with energy, and it is renewal for yourself. Now imagine the organization with a strength-based culture. How does it look like? Now I want you to imagine the organization that you're working for, or the organization you worked for. Do you think they focused on their strength? Do you think they deliberately focused on their strengths and they tried to develop a strength-based culture? Let's come back. You will actually start appreciating diversity, because then you start looking at the strength of different people and bring that collective strength. You will actually empower people. You will unleash talent and unlock potential. The organizations that focus on their core strengths, they thrive. The leaders who focus on their core strengths thrive. If I ask you to think of a leader that really impressed you, I'm sure you will think of a leader who demonstrated his strength and who inspired you. Find out and focus what the gap is in the area of your strength. We're not talking about ignoring weakness. I would like to see the word weakness getting eliminated from the dictionary. These are old-aged words. There are a lot of words in English dictionaries that should actually be eliminated, and we would talk about it sometimes. So look at your strengths and look at, when you have to build upon your strengths, what potential gaps do you find, and then try and focus on those areas. When you hire people, you should focus on their strength. You should hire them for their strength. In fact, the entire development process is based on the weak area approach. Look at the training and development and learning and development and performance management. It is all negative process in my view. It all focuses on what you are bad at. It doesn't focus predominantly on what you're good at and developing your strength. It focuses on developing your weak areas. So if I may say, that may not be the right approach, but it is happening, that's fine. So what are you working on could be your strength, and see what you can do in that area, maybe research, reading, certifications, coaching, mentoring, and stuff like that, and look at what are top 5 strengths that you bring on the table. Maybe take a VIA test, and sometimes I would talk about it. If you type VIA character strengths on Google, it will bring forth a free test for you and when you do that test online, it will immediately give you top 5 strengths of yours, and they are your character strengths. And it means you are more dominant in those 5 areas. That will give you a fair understanding of what your core strengths are, and it is free. Maybe you could read Strength Based Leadership by Tom Rath, and that's a great book, and I often refer to that. So you also see your context. So you actually trust people and get influenced when you know their strengths, right? You reach out to people for help and support. Deep inside you, you understand that you're reaching out to that individual because of his or her strengths. So it helps you manage performance. So to conclude, focus on your core strengths. You will start loving yourself, and you start loving your people. You start loving your organization. Try and see a new perspective. A slight change in your perspective might give you a better results. So look at things from a strength perspective. I am sure this will be helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed or at least liked this small discussion. Take whatever you like and just ignore what you don't like. Well, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it.